Yo, what's going on, guys? Glad to be back with another puzzle video. If you've been keeping up with the series from the last 10 puzzles I've done, then you already know what this is. But if it's your first time coming to my channel, I've done 11 puzzles in the past. The first one was just kind of for fun that I did and got a decent response from that. Decided to go ahead and print 10 of my own photography prints as puzzles and do all 10 puzzles, but I let you guys, the audience, choose which one I do next. So I'm going to continue with that pattern. However, I didn't have the new puzzles ordered yet on the last round. And so, as I said in the last video, that I was going to do this one from the Grand Canyon. This is from a trip I took my parents on a year or two ago. We did a road trip from Houston to San Francisco with a lot of stops along the way. And one of those stops was the Grand Canyon. So it's also why I'm wearing one of my shirts from my own merch, Travel Life. So if you guys are interested in any of my merch, you can check that out at themelvinshop.com, and I'll put a link up for that as well. But yeah, so this is I can barely fit this box in here, the puzzle. And this one's gonna be different because obviously it's not one of my own photos that I shot, but also because this is actually sealed shut. So I haven't even peeked in it yet to see what type of puzzle pieces they are. You know, puzzles are generally, there's 6, 8, 10 different types of pieces there could be, but I don't know what to expect. This could be completely different from the puzzles I've been working on the last 10. Also to note is that this is a panoramic puzzle, and the boards that I use are 2 foot by 3 foot, and this puzzle is 39 inches wide by 13 inches tall, so it's only a little more than a foot tall, but it's wider than the boards itself. So once we switch to the top down view, you'll see that I actually had to piece together 2 of the black boards in order to fit this puzzle in here. So that's about it for now. Oh, almost forgot. So I told you guys I was going to do another series of puzzles, which is in the plans. They should actually be arriving in a couple of days, and instead this time of doing 10 puzzles, I actually ended up doing 15. And there's a couple of reasons for that. When I went to order another round of puzzles, I went back to Shutterfly again, and I don't know if it's because of COVID and the puzzles are in more demand or what's going on, but their price nearly doubled from the last time, and they're great quality. I love the puzzles, but when you're ordering 10 of them at a time, it gets quite expensive. So I did a lot of searching around and found another company, and I'll mention it in the first puzzle, but I can't remember the name of the company off the top of my head, unfortunately. But they did run some specials where if you bought 12 or more puzzles that you got a significant discount. So I went ahead and, 13 or more puzzles that you got a discount. So I went ahead and went all the way up to 15 puzzles, so that, 3 even rows of 5 on the end screen of the video for you guys to choose which one I do next. So at the end of this video, just as in the previous puzzle series, I will have up the 15 new puzzles that should be arriving. And you guys, again, you get to choose which one I do next, but in this case, you get to choose which one I do first. So looking forward to see what you guys choose. Enough about all of that. Let's get into the puzzles. So as I mentioned, it's taped shut. So let's get this thing open. And I guess, one advantage to having double boards is I've got a lot more space now for my trays, at least for now, until I start getting this puzzle together. Man, they went crazy on this. They put tape on all 4 sides. I thought it was just the top and bottom. And it appears they also put them in a bag. So let me get this out of the way. I'll treat this about the same way as I've been doing all the rest of them. I'll separate out all the side pieces. I'll probably separate out the different shapes of pieces, but I'll also probably try to do somewhat the colors. So I might actually do a whole tray of nothing but the blue since it's sky, and then everything else will kind of go together, because even though there's some shadows and some things in there, it's all just the Grand Canyon. It's a lot of rock and mountain. So let's do this. And this one, so the puzzles I've been working on are 1,012 pieces or 1,024, I can't remember. This one's 1,000 pieces. So Pretty much about the same amount of pieces, it's just a different shape. And there's lots of puzzle dust in here. All right, let's get doing it. right, down to the last few pieces. I think I got about 12 or 13 pieces left on this one. Man, let me tell you what, this puzzle was very difficult. I haven't decided yet. By the time you see this, I've made my decision, obviously, but I may end up having to play the time lapse back at double speed because it took me that long. There was a lot of areas I got hung up on. Doing the initial border of it, that was pretty easy. Doing the sky was pretty easy, but man, once I started getting into the actual canyon part, all the browns and reds and these like yellow tones and shadows, even though there's a little bit of variance in the colors, those same colors are like spread throughout the entire canyon. So it's like, you might think it goes, you know, like maybe here on this left side, and then it actually goes like way over here because, you know, this is the same as this and this and this. So yeah, this one proved to be pretty challenging. One thing I did like about this one a lot though, is that the quality of these puzzle pieces are really nice. So one of the things with the others were that the pieces were kind of like loose, and you could barely bump it and those pieces would come loose, and so these don't do that. But let me stop rambling and get on with these last pieces. So, a couple things, you know, when I started this puzzle and I filmed the intro, I always, you know, keep sorting out the pieces for about 5 minutes before I get up and turn off all the additional cameras, because I don't need to run those the entire time. And when I did that, I started getting this like piercing pain in my shoulder out of nowhere. So much so that I ended up abandoning the puzzle for a few hours and then coming back later to work on it. And I can't remember, I think I just finished the border at that part, and then I came back the next day and did the sky. But the other thing that was kind of funny that happened is the very next day, the new puzzles arrived, like a week or two early. So I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek of those in a few minutes. But first, let's get this one finished. All right, we got 2 pieces left. And here goes the last one. Bam. All right, so Grand Canyon puzzle is officially done. So I wish I could, let me see, I'll try. Since this one does hold together a little tighter, I don't know if I can get this in from the top down into the whole frame. That's about as good as I can do because I can't really shift these boards since they're taped together. There's the final puzzle. So, yeah. All right, so like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there will be an end screen up, and at the end screen will be 15 new puzzles. So I've got them all sitting right here, so bear with me for a minute while I kind of pull all these out here. These are in bigger boxes, a nice illustration of the puzzle, which is going to make it easier for me to be able to use it as a reference, because the other ones were really small, and then on top of them being really small, the resolution of the print was pretty low, so a lot of times the color didn't really look all that great. But that's Ellie. That's funny, it's Ellie again. So there's gonna be a few of them where it's the same model, and some of these puzzles didn't really set out to do it that way. There's one thing I realized is that I shoot a lot of my photography stuff more vertical, and so I had a lot smaller selection when I was looking through all my stuff for horizontal. So we've got CJ, and I think there's actually like 3 or 4 with CJ. Yep, here's another one with CJ. Who else we got? All right, so this one's Danny and Bree. This one should be interesting. There's a whole lot of black, so it's kind of like the ones that are all white, but I think the glow will make it fun. This is Bree again. She's actually one of the ones that's in the glow puzzle. Who else we got? Who else we got? And I sat this one here for a reason. Amanda, or Kinsley as she likes to go by. Nikki, she was in the last series. And actually so was CJ, was in the last series. Here is CJ again. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the puzzle that I did with CJ on the last series of 10, I think that day in the photo I did in that one and this one, I think those shoots were the same day, but it's been a little while, so I'm not 100% certain. I don't think these are all gonna end up fitting on this table here, but we'll keep going through. We've got Jameson. And I did minimize how many I did with the white backdrops. I had to do some, because like I said, it was slim pickings on them. We've got Holly. She was on the last one. She was the wolf mask. Got another CJ. This is actually one of my favorite pictures, or one of my favorite series, I should say. And I'll go in more detail with it once I actually do that puzzle. Ooh. And another body paint one. This one's CJ and Jessica, which there is a puzzle with Jessica somewhere. I guess I just haven't gotten to it yet. Oh, here it is here. We got Jessica with some sunflowers. And then last but not least, and the only reason I saved this one for last, this one is Lorena. But that's just because I decided I wanted to open one of them just to kind of like see the types of pieces, the quality pieces, see how they compared to the puzzle I just completed. So these boxes again are like really nice packaging. They're in a plastic bag. And from what I can tell, I mean the quality, these pieces, it looks really nice. So I am anxious to start working on these. So you guys check out the puzzles at the end. Let me know what you think. And then there's one other thing I'm gonna try to have done by the time this video goes up. And that is, I came up with an idea for some shirts. I heard the Will Smith song the other day, Getting Jiggy With It. And then it started making me think of like a jigsaw puzzle. And so I think I'm gonna do Getting Jiggy With It with like puzzle pieces or something. I kind of have in my head how I wanna do it. If it's not out by this video, who knows? But I'm gonna work on that. And then, oh, one more thing I wanted to mention. I had someone message me, I believe it was on Facebook. Could have been Twitter, I can't remember. Her name was Dara. Shout out to you, Dara. Dara messaged me to ask me if she sent me a puzzle, if I would do it. And I was like, sure, why not? You know, if you want to send me a puzzle, if you want to pay for the shipping and all that, I mean, I feel kind of guilty, but if you want to, you're more than welcome to. So with that being said, I'm not asking anybody to send me anything, but if you do want to have me do a puzzle of yours or something, I've got my mailing address in the video description below. It's also in the about section of my YouTube page. So if you want to send me stuff, that's where you can send it. So again, Dara, thanks for proposing that idea. And if you end up sending your puzzle through to me, I'm gonna do it. Maybe what I'll do is, if people end up sending me some puzzles, maybe I'll get a collection of 10 or 15 of those puzzles or something, and do that as a series, maybe a fan series, who knows. But yeah, I think that's about it, guys. I'm gonna wrap this video up. 15 puzzles coming up right after this, and looking forward to see what you guys choose. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course hit that little bell. And check out my other social media and websites. All the links for that stuff is below as well. Take care.